A bank clerk accidentally found a loophole in the banking system that could earn huge money. But he didn't have enough clearance to execute it, as he was just a regular clerk. So he teamed up with the vice manager of the bank to steal millions without anyone noticing. Everything went smoothly until one day, a young girl came to the bank and ended their loot. Wanna know how? Let's see how it all began. In a quiet apartment in Bangkok, a woman lay lifeless on the floor. Her body had been there for months, unnoticed because she lived alone and far from anyone who might have cared. The story then shifts to a busy bank in the city. A teller named Pech received a call from a friend whose father had died suddenly, leaving behind heavy debts. Hoping for relief, the friend asked Pech to check if his father had any deposits. Pech searched the records but found nothing, leaving the caller disappointed. As Pech ended the call, another name surfaced in his mind. She was known for saving every coin she earned, no matter how small, and depositing it faithfully. Yet she had not visited the bank in years. Driven by curiosity, Pech entered her name into the system. What he discovered stunned him. Jit's account held 30 million baht, untouched for 2 years. The account was dormant, and only Jit or a close relative could reactivate it in person. That discovery planted a dangerous idea in Pech's mind. Perhaps Jit was already dead. Pech thought so because she had always come to the bank in person, often with bags of coins that annoyed the other tellers. If he could take her money, his debts would vanish forever. But as a regular clerk, he lacked the clearance to touch a dormant account. Staring at the numbers on the screen, he wrestled with temptation. His eyes then turned to To, the vice manager and his friend. To had the authority to unlock such accounts. At home, To enjoyed a peaceful life with his wife, Ja, and their daughter, Snow. Pech knew that if To discovered Jit was dead, he would report it immediately. The lure of 30 million baht kept gnawing at him, and despite the risk, he chose to act. That afternoon, after the office emptied, Pech stayed behind pretending to finish work. He waited for To, planning to draw him into a casual chat. Just as To picked up his briefcase, their manager entered. Asked To to complete some pending tasks, flattering him by saying it was part of his training before a promotion. To could not refuse. Had already logged into To's system with his own credentials, and ordered him to finalize the work by the next day. To had no choice but to remain at his desk late into the night. A little later, Pech stepped into the office and asked why To was still working. To explained the situation, and Pech offered to help. He also saw this as a chance to share the idea forming in his mind. They began talking about the new AI system the bank had introduced to monitor performance of the employees. It automatically flagged low performers for dismissal, and several longtime employees had already been fired. To feared he might be next. When Pech used What's credentials to check the records, he saw To's rating marked below standard. Both men were stunned. After years of loyal service, To's reward was a failing grade, and it meant a termination letter could arrive the following month. Watching To's troubled face, Pech carefully steered the conversation. He opened Jit's account and revealed the loophole, suggesting they take the money before the system decides their fate. The idea was tempting, but To could not bring himself to agree. To seemed successful, but in truth he was drowning in debt. He had spent heavily on IVF so his wife, Ja, could have their daughter, Snow. Each month, he struggled to pay the mortgage on their apartment and cover the family's expenses. On top of that, Ja wanted Snow admitted to one of the country's top schools, where tuition alone cost more than 10 million baht a year. The 30 million in Jit's account was tempting, yet To knew the danger. If the bank discovered them, they would lose their jobs and face prison. He weighed the choice but could not decide. Just then, a loud bang came from outside. A colleague who had failed last month's evaluation had received his dismissal notice that day. In despair, he ended his life. Looking at the body, To felt he was seeing his own future. The shock broke his hesitation. He agreed to help Pech find a way to move Jit's savings. But such a large sum could not be touched immediately. First, they had to confirm Jit was truly dead and that she had no relatives. To told Pech to begin with the phone number and address listed on her account. Pech followed To's plan and first called Jit's phone. The number had long been disconnected. He then went to the address on her account and found her hut abandoned. To moved to the next step. He unfroze Jit's account and asked Pech to withdraw 2,000 baht during a routine transaction. If any relatives noticed the activity, they could claim it was a mistake. They waited for days, but no one came forward. Relieved, they continued. Using the same method, they withdrew small amounts whenever other customers made transactions. After a few weeks, they had taken more than 2 million baht. By agreement, To kept 1.3 million and Pech took 700,000. To used his share to pay Snow's school registration, securing her place. Pech had his own troubles. His bike had once hit a Rolls-Royce owned by a gang boss, and he had been tortured to repay the damage. He carried the 700,000 baht to SEK, the mafia boss, hoping to settle the debt. But SEK was not satisfied. Seeing the sudden cash, he demanded another 1 million baht or threatened consequences. Desperate, Pech pulled out a small knife, but it was useless. With no choice, he called To and begged him to withdraw another million. To refused, worried that moving money too quickly would trigger the bank's risk controls. He told Pech to wait another month. Neither of them knew the truth. The money in Jit's account did not belong to her. It was owned by another crime boss. In Mu's home, Jit once worked as a maid. He had piles of dirty cash he could not keep in his own name, so he hid it in Jit's bank account. Soon after, she disappeared. When he asked around, he learned Jit had a daughter named Kem, who ran a beauty salon in Pattaya, and he prepared to find her. Vodka, Mu's associate, heard about the 30 million baht and turned greedy. He ambushed Mu and killed him with gasoline in a secluded location. Then he rushed to Pattaya and found Kem at her salon. She welcomed him, thinking he was a customer. Vodka told her the truth. Kem was shocked to hear her mother had taken millions. She thought he was looking for Jit, but she did not know where her mother was. Abandoned at birth and raised by her aunt, she did not even know her mother's face. She wanted no part in it. Vodka said Jit had died years ago and asked Kem to help withdraw the money. She did not want dirty cash but agreed to help. Before leaving, she quietly took a syringe of anesthetic from a drawer, just in case. Meanwhile, To saw a chance when a client requested a large withdrawal. He opened Jit's account and noticed repeated withdrawals of 100,000 baht over several days, more than 1 million in total, leaving a little over 20 million. He realized Pech had been taking money on his own. Afraid the plan would collapse, To decided to pull the rest. His clearance allowed only 10 million at a time. Anything above that needed the manager and the account holder present. He chose to split the total into 3 parts and withdraw it in 3 separate transactions. Late at night, To was about to leave the bank with the cash when what suddenly appeared. The withdrawal of more than 20 million baht had triggered the risk control system, and what quickly checked To's records. He discovered that To had reactivated a dormant account and made suspicious withdrawals. Confronted, To did not argue. He begged for mercy, offering what 70% of the money. What refused the deal but gave him another option. If To returned the money and resigned quietly, he would avoid prison. Dissatisfied but with no choice, To agreed. What told him to leave, claiming he would return the cash to the vault. Frustrated, To sat in his car, unsure of his next move. Then he saw what loading the same money into his own trunk. Betrayal hit him hard. While he debated what to do, a message arrived from Pech asking to meet at a dock. To went to the address and found Pech tied up. Before he could react, men surrounded him and held him down. Pech had brought 1 million baht to settle his debt, but SEK changed his mind. Seeing the sudden cash, he demanded to know its source. Beaten and desperate, Pech confessed to stealing a customer's deposits. SEK realized the bank's money could be embezzled and wanted more. He forced Pech to lure To to the dock. Under pressure, To thought quickly. He told SEK that the bank manager had found out that and already taken everything. Furious, SEK led his men to Wat's house. When Wat saw To, he tried to intimidate him, but before he could finish, SEK stabbed him without hesitation. The brutal act left To and Pech stunned. They knew SEK was dangerous, but they never imagined he would kill Wat so suddenly. After taking the money, SEK demanded more. He ordered To to steal another 20 million baht within a week, or he would kill them both. To felt crushed. One mistake had already dragged him into tragedy, and now the threat was even greater. They cleaned the house and hid Wat's body inside a freezer. Using Wat's phone, To sent a message to the bank staff, saying he was on leave for a week. The next morning, he and Pech returned to work as if nothing had happened. That was when Kem appeared at the counter, asking about her mother's account. Pech froze. He tried to dismiss her with excuses, but when she showed her ID card listing Jit as her mother, panic set in. With nothing left in the account, he turned to To. If the truth came out, both of them would face prison. To decided to stall. He spoke politely, asking if she had brought other documents. Hearing that so many papers were required, Kem grew uneasy. Then, Vodka suddenly arrived and produced her birth certificate. Kem sensed something was wrong. Even with the certificate, To insisted they needed a court order to prove her relationship before accessing the account. Vodka led Kem out of the bank to find a solution, but she refused to go. She asked if he had been to her hometown, because only her aunt could have that birth certificate. Vodka stayed silent, and dread filled her. She realized something terrible might have happened to her aunt. She tried to run, but Vodka chased and grabbed her. Just as he was about to act, Petch rode in on his bike and struck Vodka. Together, Petch and Kem fought him off and escaped on the bike. At a nearby bar, Kem told Petch everything. When he learned the money came from criminal funds, Petch devised a plan. He called To and revealed Vodka's true identity. Together, they decided to turn the tables and end the problem once and for all. To instructed Petch to tell Vodka that SEK had stolen the money. Then he went to the dock and told SEK that Vodka was coming for it. Hearing that Mu's fortune had been taken by a gang boss, Vodka rushed to confront SEK. Within minutes, a brutal fight erupted inside the warehouse. SEK underestimated Vodka's skill, and his men were quickly beaten down. Amid the chaos, Petch was accidentally shot. To grabbed a gun from the floor and fired at several of SEK's men. But before he could finish Vodka, the tables turned. Vodka overpowered him. To pleaded for mercy, saying he had been forced into everything because of his daughter's school debt and was willing to give up the money. Vodka didn't believe him. Just as Vodka pulled the trigger, Kem struck from behind, driving an anesthetic syringe into his neck. She told him to take the money and leave without hurting anyone else. Vodka picked up the bag and walked toward the door. But as soon as he stepped outside, SEK's backup men shot him dead. Not realizing the bag held cash, they fled immediately. To's eyes lit up when he saw the bag left behind. He offered some of the money to Kem, but she refused. He dropped it to the floor and chose another path. Instead of running, he transferred the money into a dormant account for his family to use, then went to the police station to turn himself in. He claimed the manager and gang members had stolen 30 million baht from a dormant account. He and Petch had discovered the truth, tried to report it, but were kidnapped. During a gang fight, the money was taken by another group. To believed that with everyone else dead, there would be no witnesses, and he could clear his name while secretly keeping the rest. But his plan collapsed. While awaiting investigation, a prisoner approached him quietly. The dormant accounts were not forgotten. They were money laundering channels for criminal organizations, hiding illegal funds under inactivity. After seeing the news, the syndicate moved to silence To. He was killed, and soon after, another 20 million baht appeared in the account, turning him into just another pawn in their laundering chain. Then the first scene plays again. The woman lying on the floor is revealed to be Jit. After all those millions, she ended up as nothing more than food for a cat. Well, that's the end of this story. How did you like this recap? Let me know in the comments below.